For your case, I climb the bridge for your case. Enter water for your case. I punch the judge for your case. Anything you want, baby, that's for you, baby. For your case, yo. For your case, yo. No. For your case, yo. For your case, yo. Cause my papa no be Dangote, I did it, but we go there, okay. For my papa no be Dangote, I did it, but we go there, okay. Yeah, I go shoot for your case. I go slap a baby for your case. I go collect you, Oluwamo. I go report all of them. I go shoot for your case. I go slap a baby for your case. I go collect you, Oluwamo. I go report all of them. So tell me what the hell are you waiting for? It's not to drop it, doggy. We go drop. It's not to suck it, guys. We go suck you. What the hell are you waiting for? It's not to fly a car, we go fly. It's not to soak a car, we go soak. Fire case, yo. Fire case, yo. No. Fire case, yo. Fire case, yo. No. Cause my papa no be Dangote. Oh, but we go stay okay. Oh, my papa no be good. Oh, but we go stay okay. Yeah, I go shoot for your case. I go slap a baby for your case. I go collect you, Oluwamo. I go report all of them. I go shoot for your case. I go slap a baby for your case. I go collect you, Oluwamo. I go report all of them. For your case, yo. For your case, yo. No. For your case, yo. When anyone was in the Lego, with my cooler. Sometimes it feels like success is a trap, and sometimes it feels like people don't understand. Cause the pressure is plenty, and the expectations high. Even your day ones are supposed to get your back, so can they high. Everybody has an opinion, you're supposed to live your life. And even people were supposed to show you the way, and the people they went by. Not be pride, not be ego. Sometimes I got in my mind, sometimes I got in behind, sometimes I would have to say no. Sometimes I got to what out of my head, make it further, not to judge me and say no. So if you see me outside and I don't think sex, but my head is full of. And mama, you know the level. Now this hustle like this. I got so many things that they easy, no bother me. When you look back at the Congo, if you look at the a family go call, enemy go call, I don't know who is. No be pride, no be ego. Sometimes I got to away when I have nothing to say, sometimes I would have to say no. Sometimes I got to what I'm this guy don't go down me and say no. So you be see me for sure, and I don't think to go back, but on my head is too low. And mama, you know the level. That is also like of course, there's a tiny bumpers. Yeah, cause I put myself first. Oh, there's a tiny bumpers. Yeah, it's all up, but I it's all up. Oh, it's all up, my brother, it's all up, and I'm good with it.
Get ready to groove with One Time, the latest Afrobeat hit from Nigerian artist Jope. Stream it now on Spotify, and it's your playlist for a guaranteed crowd pleaser. Keep your vibes flow. Don't miss out on the dynamic, hidden and unforgettable chorus. Start jamming to One Time today.
Sorry, wash it, more, wash it. I swear you sweet but sugar. You give me hot and back, oh yeah. You turn me to believer. And you give me the college. You got the keys to my heart, and me and you for the night. Would you be there for me? Never let go of me. Yeah. Baby, would you be there for me? Never let go of me. Baby, suicide. You must be a baby, you must suicide. Alright. You must be a baby, you must suicide. No commando, you give me that, oh. Now you give me life of the party. Yeah, don't let the body round about the
Hello, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Nice to be here. I want to confirm you.
I want you my baby. I don't want you for the night. I want you forever. Mommy, would you be there for me? Never let go of me. Yeah. Baby, mommy, would you be there for me? Never let go of me. Baby, I swear you sweet but sugar. You give me hot and back, oh yeah. You turn me to believer. And you give me ginger. College. You got the keys to my heart, and me and you for the night. College. I want you my baby. I don't want you for the night. I want you forever. Mommy, would you be for me? Never let go of me. Yeah. Baby, mommy, would you be there for So welcome everyone. Welcome. Good evening. We'll be starting in the next 2 minutes. We'll be starting in the next 2 minutes. So prompt your friends, prompt everybody, and let's start together. We have a lot to cover tonight. We'll be starting very shortly. Welcome, guys. Welcome tonight. Welcome, guys. Welcome to this event tonight. Welcome to our first class. I'm so glad to have you here. So excited to welcome you back to class. As much as I'm excited, I'm also nervous because
Mr. Peter Akinola, are you with us? Okay, I would just like to confirm before I proceed with today's class. Good evening, everyone. Um, nice to have you all again today. So yesterday was the convocation, and we actually shared with you all on what we are bringing, bringing to this School of Asset Management, right? And I would like to thank Mr. Peter Okinola for making us among the pioneer faculty members. It's really a privilege, really an honor, and I'm going to be, like he said, like I said yesterday, rather, I'm going to be taking the real estate session, right? And before I delve into my part, I would just like to say some few things. Number one, I'd like to say, this is a very, very good initiative, and it is actually geared towards, making people um, financially aware, right? Because a lot of persons rather, are not having this kind of education, which is a very vital education. Apart from one we get from our conventional tertiary schools, we also need to, I feel this is one of the topics that needs to be added to the curriculum. Everybody needs to be aware of finances. Financial intelligence is a very, very important topic because you know um, you might have the money, and if you do not manage the money, there's no way you can build wealth with it. And our drive, our why is to make money. Like everybody is, because you use money is like a fuel. You understand? So you use to fuel your passions and other things you want. If you want to go into your humanitarian services, you want to do a lot of things, travels. You need money. So money is like a fuel, and the absence of money is actually very, very, devastating, right? So it's one thing for you to have money, it's one thing for you to know how to well, manage it very well. And this is what the course is all about, right? So I'm taking the real estate section, and I'll be having other of my faculty members doing justice to other assets like stocks, bonds, forex, cryptocurrency, vehicles that will make more money for you, right? So I want to implore everybody to take this course as take this course very, 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 very seriously, right? So today we're talking about real estate investing 101. You know, so this is a guide I prepared a long time ago. I've added some few things because of just both of this class because this is more advanced. I also want it to be more richer than what it is before because this is school of asset management, right? So there are more advanced things you need to know about each vehicles, right? So, however, I know we won't be going deeper. There will be more advanced classes than this, and I think there will be also mentorship classes too. So, but however, this is a very rich version. I've had a slide I think a year ago now, but I had to put in more other things to make this richer. So let's just delve into it. So what we're going to be learning today is in three sections rather. So today will just be on two sections, right? So we are going to be learning on how you can build a strong financial base. You are going to be learning on understanding what real estate really is, and the third one is how to be a game player, right? So I think um sorry, section one and two will be part of what we're going to be discussing today, while the second three is going to be, the last, my second class, right? Because that one I dedicated to for your class because that is where the main juice is, right? So this is just like an introductory class, right? So um, before I delve into it, I'd like to know reasons why you need to listen to me. There's this proverb that says in Yoruba. I don't know if everybody's Yoruba here, but I'll try my possible best to translate it. It said, "Ẹni tá bá fẹ́ dáṣọ fún tọrùn ẹ̀ là ń wò." We get, so whosoever you want to get advice from, you first look at what has he or she done in that respect. That's why I'm bringing this up so that you can be comfortable with what I'm going to be telling you now. So this is what I've done. I started as a freelance marketer, write properties. So that's like my first baby, right? As an entrepreneur, I started in school then. So what I was doing then was generate interested buyers in real estate. I followed them up and I closed them. That's basically what I was doing then, because I was also doing some other things on digital marketing.
So, good evening. So sorry for the internet challenge. And then we'll get started now. We'll get started now. Please confirm you can see the screen and then you can hear the audio clearly. Please confirm that before we proceed tonight. Please like this video and subscribe if you have not subscribed to this channel. So for the real estate class tonight, Realtor Baruwa is ready for us. So join me as I welcome tonight Realtor Baruwa for his class.
Bringing to this School of Asset Management, right? And I would like to thank Mr. Peter Okinola for making us among the pioneer faculty members. Is really a privilege, really an honor, and I'm going to be like I said yesterday, rather. I'm going to be taking the real estate session, right? And before I delve into my, I'd just like to say some few things. Number one, I'd like to say, this is a very, very good initiative, and it is actually geared towards, making people um, financially aware, right? Because a lot of persons rather, are not having this kind of education, which is a very vital education. Apart from one we get from our conventional tertiary schools, we also need to, I feel this is one of the topics that needs to be added to the curriculum. Everybody needs to be aware of finances. Financial intelligence is a very, very important topic because, you know, um, you might have the money, and if you do not manage the money, there's no way you can build wealth with it. And our drive, our why is to make money. Like everybody is, because money is like a fuel, understand? So you use money for your passions and other things you want. If you want to go into your humanitarian services, you want to do a lot of things, travels, you need money. So money is like a fuel, and the absence of money is actually very, very, devastating, right? So it's one thing for you to have money, it's one thing for you to know how to, well, manage it very well. And this is what the course is all about, right? So I'm taking the real estate section, and I'll be having other of my faculty members doing justice to other assets like stocks, bonds, forex, cryptocurrency, vehicles that will make more money for you, right? So I want to implore everybody to take this course as take this course very, 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 very seriously, right? So today we're talking about real estate, you know. So this is a guide I prepared a long time ago. However, I added some few things because of this both of this class, because this is more advanced. I and I'll also be we won't be going deeper. There will be more advanced classes than this, and I think there will also mentorship classes too. So, but however, this is a very rich version. I've had the slide I think a year ago now, but I had to put in more other things to make this richer. So let's just delve into it. So what we're going to be learning today is in three sections rather. So today will just be on two sections, right? So we are going to be learning on how you can build a strong financial base. You are going to be learning on understanding what real estate really is, and the third one is how to be a game player, right? So I think um sorry, section one and two will be part of what we're going to be discussing today. While section three is going to be the last my second class, right? Because that one I dedicated section three to for your class because that is where the main juice is, right? So this is like an introductory class. So um before I delve into it, I would like to know reasons why you need to listen to me. There's this proverb that says in Yoruba. I don't know if everybody's Yoruba here, but I'll try my possible best to translate it. It said, "Ẹni tá bá fẹ́ dáṣọ fún tọrùn ẹ̀ là ń wò" we get. So whosoever you want to get advice from, you first look at what has he or she done in that respect. So that's why I'm bringing this up so that you can be comfortable with what I'm going to be telling you now. So this is what I've done. I started as a freelance marketer, write properties. So that's like my first baby, right? As an entrepreneur, I started in school then. So all I was doing then was generate interested buyers in real estate. I followed them up and I closed them. That's basically what I was doing then, because I was also doing some other things on digital marketing. So I was kind of, I kind of understand the online terrain and how to, get clients. So that's what I was doing then. Then afterwards, when I finished school, I became a business developer at Novaric Homes, which is a real estate company. So what we do there was, develop products. I was the one in product development process, right? And when there's a new product in town, the kind of naming we are going to give it, the nomenclature, the the strategy for marketing, the brochure, the materials for marketing, everything I was involved in it. I facilitated interbrand collaboration. That's like a P2P collaboration. Collaborating with other companies that might have our customers in hand. You know, uh, they might have our customers at target market. And working to win collaboration with them. So then I proceeded to being a product manager rather. So this was when I delved into technology a little bit. Uh, my role then was to oversee the engineers and the UI UX designers, on coming up with a product. So then we were trying to build a product on how you can save to own, like an app that allows you to save to own a property for as long as 2 years, right? So you have your dashboard, you create a profile, then you keep saving. You pick a property rather, then you keep saving till you meet the property savings goal. So we've calculated everything, the legal implications, the interest per time rates, everything is there. Yeah. So then I moved out from Novaric. I went to Zelos. I became a you know operations manager. So my goal there was just mainly to recruit people to sell for the company. And I think in less than 2 years we generated a billionaire in sales for the company. Alongside my team and my immediate boss, right? So we were able to recruit in 200 business associates. Then in the year 2021, we became the best subsidiary company under Zelos Group. Right. So these are a few things that there are other things, but these are just a few things I'd like to share with you. To you know, then also I've been privileged to speak, in capacity of real estate, industrially, right? Then also, these are just awards that I got from my sales strides, with several companies, and you know, so that's just basically it. So let's go into the class proper, right? Now, I'd like you to see these two images, right? Just picture them in your mind. Do not say anything about them. Like, just snapshot them, put it in your mind. So we are going to be looking at these images and looking at their relevance in this class right now. So I'd just like you to look at them critically. You know, the next slide will actually tell us more about these two images. Now, I'd like to go into what an asset really means, right? So according to Investopedia, an asset is a resource with economic value, that an individual, a corporation, or a country owns or controls with the expectation that it will provide a future benefit. Now, the underlying word there is what future benefit, and economic value. So are the two underlying words: future benefit and economic value. So whenever you trying to decipher whether this is an asset or not, you need to take those two underlying words and try to align it with what you are trying to decipher. This will actually give you your answer, right? So for something to be called an asset, it has to have an economic value. It also has to have a future benefit, right? So what do we mean by economic value? Value placed on an economic good based on the benefit that they derive, from the good, right? So going back to the slide, I would like you to tell me in the comment section which of this is an asset, which of this is a liability, right? Or which of this is an asset and which is not an asset, right? So tell me, is it image A that is an asset or image B that is an asset? Let me know in the comment section below right now. Before we move on. So I'll give like 30 seconds to do that. So like remember economic value and future benefits. Economic value, future benefits. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. So, according to our definition, you can see that the image A, which is the car, is not really an asset. Why image B, which is the land, is an asset? Because over time, car value is going to depreciate, right? Because they are bringing in newer models day by day. There's a newer version of car. So you cannot expect a 2014 car to be more expensive than a 2018 car, right? Because over time, likewise gadgets, you know, the value is depreciating over time. So there's not really a future benefit. There's not really an economic value attached to it, right? Also, the land is an asset because over time land appreciate because there's scarcity of land. Land newer lands are not made, right? Newer lands are not made. We already have a fixed land mass, of the earth. So there's a limited supply of land, and there's an increase in demand of land. And when I know in the economic space, when there's a limited supply and increased demand of something, the value what increases. So the economic value is there in land. So land is an asset. Why the car is not an asset? Now let's go into current and non-current assets. Current assets are actually assets that you can quickly make use of. They are liquid assets. Yeah, and examples are cash. The cash you are holding is a current asset. Why the non-current assets are ones that are that cannot be turned into cash, that cannot be turned into money as soon as possible. For example, investment, especially the long-term investment, which are the properties, your intellectual property, your tangible property. You understand? So these are non-current assets. Right? So these are kind of asset that we have. So we've been able to decipher what an asset is and what is not an asset, right? So so what is not an asset. So anything that that leads to cash outflow without an expected inflow is not an asset, right? It leads to cash outflow not without an expected increased you know um, inflow back to your account is not an asset, right? So no future economic value, like I said earlier, and it's also what we owe, which can also be referred to as liability. So you can see here that an asset is actually greater than a liability. So what we must do is that we must always look for avenues to increase our assets and decrease our liabilities. So now this is the wealth creation loop. Now a loop is something that like goes on and on and on. It goes on and on. Like how do I put it? Uh, try to look for an analogy to use. Um, okay, it simply means that from point A to point B to point C, it comes back to point A to point B to point C like that. Come back to point A to point B to point C. So it's in a continuous motion like that. You understand? So this is a wealth creation loop. It shows how wealth is being created, right? So the first thing is that you earn an income, right? Second thing is you save, then you invest, right? But however, yeah, the the second um, the second step can actually be skipped, right? So you can just earn and you tend to invest your money straight. But in real sense, you are actually saving before investing. So one of the framework I use for savings is the 50 30 rule. Um, uh, is actually a rule for budgeting, right? So from your income, you take 50% for your want, you take 30% for your needs. Sorry, 50% for your needs. You take 30% for your wants, then you take 20% for savings, right? So 20% of your income is being saved to invest on later, or to actually probably maybe purchase something, maybe for travels and all that, right? But for the wealth creation loop, you earn an income, you save part of your income, then you invest. That investment simply means to multiply what you have saved, right? Now, this is a very very good book, one of my best book ever, like till now. At least I think it's ranking in the top five, right? So it's actually Richest Man in Babylon. So and this is one this is the parts I like most, right? Seven cures for lean pulses, right? So it simply states the seven cures for a lean pulse, right? So that means if you want to fatten your pulse, these are the seven steps you need to take, right? So the first thing is to start fattening your financial account. That is, engage in high income skills. Start getting money into your account, right? So, and how do you do that? Is by you to, engaging actively in income generation, um, what they call it, i- income generation activities, right? So either by um, being self-employed, or or working under somebody, or being a business owner, right? So second one is like controlling your expenses. That's savings and budgeting. Then third one is making your savings multiply. Then other ones include ensuring your investment and your savings. Owning your home, ensuring your future income, increasing your ability to earn. But however, we're just looking at two of this under this seven cures of lean process. So now this is just a principle of savings, right? Um, like we said, in the previous slide, control your expenses by saving and budgeting, right? You have to have a strict budget so you can save a substantial amount of your money, right? So you start saving sooner. Something is better than nothing. Stay disciplined, track your spending. So these are principles of savings, right? That can keep you how do I put it, that can keep you on track. So if you follow this principle of savings, it will help you um, save a substantial amount of your money, right? So what can you save? You can save in piggy bank. That's the conventional traditional method of saving, right? You can save with cooperatives. You can save in commercial banks, savings app. You can save in asset savings schemes, right? Uh, so these asset savings schemes are actually saving in a particular um, environment that more like put it. For example, there's a product in my company, but however, um, it has been phased out now, right? So what we do is that we encourage people to save money, you know, in our accounts, right? So what we do with the funds is that we invest in properties, and after a period of a year, you are eligible to like 20% interest in your of your saved amount rather. You get, so it's like that. So that's called an asset savings scheme. So you're saving in an environment that you know deals with tangible assets. So the money being saved is used towards real estate development, and definitely is going to yield interest for you. Right. So for investment, gold in the purse is gratifying to own, satisfied, immeasurable, so but earns nothing. So this simply means that you saving without getting something on it. So that's where investment comes in, right? So investment simply is you multiplying what you've saved, right? So instead of just putting your money lying around, lying fallow without doing anything for you, this is actually a quote from the book Richest Man in Babylon. So I took it from the book, and you know use this to actually explain why we need to invest our money, right? Instead of just saving it. So the wealth creation loop is not complete if you do not invest your money, right? So um, principles of investment. You have to understand the risks of in the investment, and understand the return. How much rate of return will it give you? You have to know your financial limitation, right? So it's actually advisable to not invest practically all your money, you know. So you still have to keep some for living expenses, right? So especially if you're going into long term investment. So know how much you can invest minus your living expenses. So then you can go on and on and on and on like that. Expand. When you expand your earning capacity, you can now start to put in more for investment. Right. So it's never early to start investing. It's never too early, right? So this simply means you're not too young to start investing. You know, there are scenarios whereby even um, parents are investing for their unborn children, right? So why do you think you are too young to start investing if that's the case, right? So invest for long term, be diversified. This simply means no, don't just put your money in a particular investment vehicle. Try and spread across several investment vehicles. Even in real estate, you can diversify in real estate, right? So let's say you invest in a particular location, you can put other of your funds in another location that is just coming up. Put this in one that is developed already. You know, you can diversify even within a particular asset type. You understand? So um reinvest your ROI. Yeah, don't eat your ROI, right? And that's where the law of compound interest comes in, right? You keep compounding your interest, and this is one of the role of the even the richest billionaires in the world, right? The biggest billionaires in the world, they reinvest their ROI. They believe more in compound interest. So you do not just take invest today and eat your ROI, right? So where can you invest? These are places you can invest. You can invest in real estate, mutual funds, money markets, capital markets, agriculture, cryptocurrency. So these are vehicles you can push your money in, and these are just some places that OctaFX, Coinbase. This is my company Zilla Sums, right? We deal in real estate. These are Farm Cowdy, agriculture, bamboo. Bamboo is where you can do stocks there, right? So now, like I said the wealth creation loop is incomplete without investment now. So even though it's a good economic decision to save your money, it becomes a bad decision if the currency is weak. And we're in Nigeria here now, our currency is actually very weak because of inflation rates on the high, the foreign exchange rate is nothing to write them about, right? So saving in this kind of environment is actually very um, deleterious to your money, right? So you need to look for an environment that will help you multiply your money and even go over the inflation rate. So the wealth creation loop is incomplete without investment. So if you save, you've not really achieved, you don't really met the terms of the wealth creation loop. Now let's look at the brutal reality. Now, according to CBN rates, Naira has devalued 76% over the last 9 years in Nigeria against the dollar. So if you take black market, which is the only trade for Nigerians, uh, it's an additional 36%. So you know this is just showing us the level of devaluation of naira. You know, um, if you had to follow the data, it's an upward. So that means the total valuation is 224% in the next 18 years. And even our current inflation rate now is 21.9%, right? So you need to look for avenues whereby your money will produce for you, an interest rate that is above the inflation rate. So this is just showing you that showing us the level of devaluation of naira, over the years, and it's actually opening our eyes to the danger of just saving our money, putting our money in banks that are giving us, minimal interest rates that are even way, 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 way below inflation rates. So the lesson of this slide is just that we need to look for avenues that will multiply our money for us, that will abate the effect of um, currency devaluation, right? So inflation erodes the consumer purchasing power, reduces the rate. For example, if an investor earned 5% from investments in stocks, but the inflation rate um, was okay, probably there's an omission here. Maybe this is just like maybe this is meant to be 7%, right? So that means an investor earns 5%, and the inflation rate is 7%. Yeah, sorry, or maybe probably it's going to be 3%, right? So that means the investor earned only 2% in real terms, right? You know, so that means the interest rate is a little bit higher than the inflation rate, and that is not really a good investment vehicle for this kind of person in this kind of environment. So in case of Nigeria, where inflation is nearly 17%, you know on savings accounts around, if you put your money at 2%, you know your real interest rate is a negative of 15%, right? So even now, this is an old um, figure of the inflation rate. Currently now in Nigeria, the inflation rate is 21.91%, right? So looking at this example here, the inflation rate is 17%, right? And you go in a place to just save your money that will give you a 2% interest on your savings, right? That means 2 minus 17, that is minus the fintech apps that we have there. So 1.91%, right? So looking at this example here, the inflation rate is 17%, right? And you go in a place to just save your money that will give you 2% interest on your savings, right? That means 2 minus 17, that is minus 15. So there's a negative 15%, you know, on your money because of the inflation rates currently in the environment you are putting your money. So this is just like trying to reaffirm that you need to look for environments that will give you more returns more than the inflation rate of that particular environment at that particular time. So this is just showing the interest rate of different banks as at today. Um, so this is for savings app, Cowrywise and PiggyVest. For the fintech apps that we have there. So you can see that it is not enough for us to save, right? That is just the main lessons of this previous slides, right? It is not enough for us to save. We must find ways to, you know, invest our money, to multiply our money, to go above the inflation rates of the particular um, environment. So now let's look at active income and passive income. Now, active income is, also it's also called end income. It is the income received for performing a service. Now, while passive income is income that you can earn with minimal um, effort or much participation. So this simply means for active income, you need to be active in, you know, you, you need to be active in the process of, getting money, right? Why for passive income, you need little or no effort, to get money out of that system, right? So this Venn diagram shows that active income gives you portion of your time. Sorry, so for active income, you give up a portion of your time in order to make money, right? Why for passive income, it is done as a result of efforts in the past without additional time spent, right? So this one probably for the first instance it requires your efforts, but as time goes by, you do not need to be there again for you to get money out. But this one, you have to exchange your time for money. So for active income, there's an exchange in time for money. While for passive income, initially you need to put in time, but when it's done, it goes on and on and on without even your input, right? So I'm going to use this as an example to further explain. Now, this diagram shows tomato seedlings and yam sets, right? Um, Now, let's say for example, now for you to eat, let say these two are income, right? These two are incomes, right? So for you to eat a yam, you know, you need to probably walk, to buy the yam and all that stuff, right? You also need to walk to buy you know, to buy your tomato, right? So, but however, let's say after eating your yam or tomato, you take out some yam sets and maybe probably you go into your backyard that has a fertile soil, right? So your backyard has a fertile soil. You put in um, you plant your yam sets or your tomato seedlings, right? Initially you need to water, cultivate, and everything, you know, but when these things start coming out, passively start coming out, you need little or no effort to to continue eating yam and tomato. So that's just the simple analogy for active and passive income. So, and the reason why I'm actually telling us this two type of income now, you will see it. I actually want to use it as a build up for something, right? Now, for financial freedom stages, right? So now we've talked about the active income and the passive income. So the how do I put it? The presence or absence of a particular type of income determine what your financial freedom is. Where you are in financial freedom stage. So this level zero is when your active income is greater than or equal to your required minimum level expense. Now, this is, for example, your rent, your rent, transportation, your utility bills. These are part of your minimum living expenses, right? So let's say your salary, which is an example of active income, is greater than or equals to minimum your minimum living expenses. You're at level zero of a financial stage. But if it's not among this, that means you're not even in the stage. So that means if your income cannot even cater for your living expenses, you know, you're not even in this stage at all. So you need to find a way to increase your income, your earning capacity to even reach the active income stage, right? So level one is actually when both your active income and your passive income is greater greater than or equals to your minimum living expense, right? So that means the summation of your active income and your passive income is greater than or is equals to your required living expense. So that means you have both salary coming in for you, and probably you have some interest rates or some return on investment, from some investment you've made way back. The summation of both is greater than or equals to. So that means you're not just relying on active income, you're relying on both, right? So the level two is when only your passive income is what is greater than or equals to your. So that means money you're getting from investment is able to cater for your required minimum expense. That is when you're in level two of the financial freedom stage. Now, level three is when you can afford anything you want and at every time from your passive income without having to work again. So this transcends beyond your living expense, right? So your needs, your wants, your fantasies, everything can be funded by your passive income. So this is when you are in level three, right? So I want you to ask yourself, where are you in the financial freedom? What is your financial freedom status? Funke, there's this meme in online that's all these sounds meme that these skit creators used to use. Funke. So I don't know if you know. So that's why I use the name Funke. Yeah, you know. So um, this is just to like let you sit down and decipher yourself what your financial freedom status is, right? Are you in level zero, level one, level two, level three? You need to start picking up your required minimum expense, your rent, your utility bills, your transportation, the data you use, things you need to survive. Pick them, calculate your monthly spend on them, times it times annual, like times 12 months, right? Look at what you earn annually. The difference between your income and your earnings, will show you where you are. You understand? Is your current income Can your current income fund your minimum expense, right? Can your current active income plus passive income fund your 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 living expense? Can only your passive income fund your living expense? And lastly, can only your passive income give you what you want, your need, and your fantasies? So it's a very, very vital point you need to actually take. Even before going into investing, right? You need to take care of savings first. Savings is actually very important because what is left from your income a- after funding your expense, you know, it's what you're going to invest. So if there's no savings, there's no investment. Right? So that's why we have to establish this first before we go into savings proper. So now, we've talked about um, several vehicles you can invest your money in, right? So we're talking more on the real estate aspect because that's what I'm taking, right? So I would like to, share with us why I think real estate is actually, the best over other investments. And this is not to say that other investments are not palatable, right? But um, in terms of uh, diversifying your portfolio, you know, you need to apportion more to one to another, so that you can have a balanced and you can have a well diversified portfolio, right? So let's say, for example, now you want to invest in stock, real estate, cryptocurrency, to have a you want to create a diversified portfolio, right? So which of this should you apportion more money to? And in my own opinion, right, I feel it's real estate, right, because it gives you more security, you know, like it serves as a shock absorber, like to a well diversified portfolio. And these are the reasons, right? So number one, it has a low volatility and risk ratio, right? So when we say volatility, it means ability of your money to be lost in a particular investment. So for real estate, it has a low volatility ratio because the only risk in real estate is if you do it, in a on how do I put it? supervised way, right? So probably if you buy a particular property that is not legally, you know, legally registered, buying properties that are not, legally approved, by the government. So that's part of the risk involved, right? But once you um, once you actually identify a developing area, you identify the potentials in that market. If it's actually a very good market, you definitely get your money back. But compared to other investment, there are several factors that leads to loss of your money, right? So for real estate, it has a low volatility and a risk ratio. um it's tangible. So tangibility in this sense means that you can see, you can feel, you can touch it. So a lot of other investments are not tangible, they're abstract, right? So you can't really see them, right? So it has high returns. You can control it. Yes, you can control. For example, now let's say you have a a rental building, right? That's just probably maybe 3 bedroom duplex. If you don't want 3 bedroom duplex anymore, you can just wake up in the morning and turn it into a tenement building, right? Depending on the policies of that particular place, and get more access to rent. So that's what we mean by control. So you can control to an extent, though. So you can control your real estate investment, edge against inflation. Inflation rates. For example, now when you have a rental property, rent keeps going up even when there's inflation, right? So you as a landlord might not really feel the heat during inflationary periods, right? So it serves as an edge against inflation, right? So and even in inflation, appreciation of landed properties continues to rise. So your money is not being valued in that aspect. If you're able to put it in a secured um, place, so that's what we call edge against inflation. So high demand for housing. Now, for example, now there's an high demand for housing even in Nigeria. Nigeria is a developing nation, so and there's a high deficit of housing in Nigeria. So there's currently high demand for housing, whether for commercial use or for residential use, right? Now, the last one is guaranteed capital appreciation. So this is actually mostly on landed properties. So far that there is continuous infrastructural development in that place, so far that there is influx of investment into the area, there's going to be a guaranteed capital appreciation. So these are reasons why I feel real estate is actually better than other investment. Not saying that the other investment are not better. They're actually good, right? So I know that my other faculty, my colleagues will come on board and probably try to even shed more light to this. Or I don't want to use the word debunk. Well, they have more expertise in that field, right? In the forex field, the cryptocurrency field, in the stock field, right? So you will come with their own, arguments too, right? But this is my own opinion. This is what I feel, or this is what I know, you know, and I've seen, right? So this is just a chart to show the comparison. It's just a chart to show comparison between real estate, stocks, bond, cryptocurrency, agriculture, in terms of all these parameters. Like we discuss volatility, risks, returns, tangibility. So it's just a chart to show it's also buttressing my points in the other slide. you know it's a chart to compare between other investment, and so also further reaffirm that it's actually um, better. Not better like not. I'm trying to use a word, not better, but it actually has more hedge. Over other vehicles of investment, right? So that's what to use, right? So this is just chart showing, it's showing exchange rates, exchange rate. Okay, yeah, this is just okay. These are charts showing the exchange rate of Nigeria from 20, I think 2009 to date. So this one shows the inflation rate from 2009 to date. Now, so this chart that is showing the price of landed properties, store commercial properties from 2009 till date. So the aim of this is just to show that even amidst harsh conditions, harsh economic condition, so real estate tends to thrive, right? So I'm not sure if you can really see these slides, you know, but you definitely get them in your own time, and try to analyze them yourself and see what I'm saying. It's actually says that amidst harsh conditions, harsh economic conditions, real estate is resilient, and it tends to appreciate, right? Even however, there's sometimes that there was some downtime periods, but it's picks up back. You understand? So there was some downtime periods which are very infinitesimal kinda, but it picks up back. So this is just showing admits continuous increase in inflation, continuous increase in exchange rates. Real estate continues to grow from time to time. So that's just basically it. So I'm really um, using Lagos as the case study here. So Lagos is the case study here. So this is a chart showing real estate and other forms of such as in Nigeria, right? So this actually is showing the volume of search of real estate in. So that means there's a great influx of investor over time, right? So all these charts can be taken, as your own leisure time to analyze them. So, but the summary of it is just to show us the adoption of real estate, the increase in adoption of real estate over time, right? There's a continuous rise in um, adoption of real estate, even in Nigerian real estate market. So now we've established why real estate is actually a very easy, better vehicle, right? When you want to increase your money, you want to preserve your wealth, right, from depreciation, devaluation, and inflation, right? So, what is real estate? This is just a simple example, definition of real estate. Rather, definition. It says real estate is considered real property that includes land and anything permanently attached to it or built on it. So whether natural or man-made, right? So landed property, buildings, are referred to as real estate. So trees also, mountains, hills, because it says here that whether natural or man-made, right? So trees, mountains, they are also, referred to as real estate, right? So these are the type of real estate we have. We have residential, we have industrial, we have commercial. So for residential, it's just zone for living, right? So people are you just buildings, apartments and condominiums, right? Um, terraces, duplexes. These are residential real estate, and it's just for living, solely living, right? So buy to build, building to live in, right? Buying plot of land, you build houses, you build to solely live in. That's just the sole purpose of residential real estate. It's just for you to live in, right? For industrial, these are they are manufacturing buildings, right? Which are used for production, storage, and distribution of goods, right? So here we look at the warehouses and the factories, right? They're referred to as industrial real estate. So for commercial real estate, you know, these are buildings or land right? So examples include office spaces, restaurants, outlets, healthcare, franchises, tourism centers. These are, all forms of commercial real estate, right? It's just for them to, generate rental income or capital gain. So, people rent out office spaces to companies and corporations, healthcare, people build healthcare facilities and like rent the space out to to doctors that are looking to um come into have their own facilities and build their own name, right? Tourism, uh, these are all forms of commercial. So the sole aim of commercial activity of commercial real estate is to to gain to have capital gain on them and a rental income, right? So there are some residential buildings that can be classified or categorized as commercial real estate, right? When you build to to rent out to people, to get rental income, it can be referred to as commercial. So whether long term rent or short term rent, right? So long term rent is paid annually, while for short term rent, short let that are for nights, like they are paid per night, you know I'm not sure if you are familiar with shortlet, right? But I think it's a widespread trend now. So I think everybody should be familiar with it. You go to rent per night and not per annum, like the conventional method of renting, right? So these are the common classifications of real estate, right? So there's another classification of real estate which are called REITs, right? So REITs are synonymous to like real estate. They're also called real estate stocks, right? Stocks are actually traded on the exchange platform. So this is actually same for real estate, right? So they are companies or real estate investment trusts that owns and operates income producing assets, right, or related assets. So that's what they do. They own assets, they manage assets, for either rental purpose or appreciation purpose, right? So they sell rates to people outside and they invest in them. So the money being invested is used to buy assets and manage them for profit, right? So they are sold in form of stock like, right? So instead of you buying them, buying land in a whole as in an asset in a whole, you buy in a stock like method, right? And a very good amount of this rate is that for this one you tend to invest in multiple locations in a single package. So a rate can contain probably buildings that are located in Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Enugu, all in the same package. So your returns are actually coming from all these locations all together. Do you understand? So that's one of the advantages of doing rates. Secondly, benefit of direct ownership without having to own a property or deal with headaches of management. So management and ownership of property is cancelled in rates, right? All you just concerned is with you are um concerned with what they call it, um collecting money rather, right? Sorry, I was distracted, right? Just excuse me. Let me try and tell them I'm in a meeting because it's distracting me. It's just showing us the sorry, to ability to purchase. Sorry about this. Sorry about that. You know, distraction, right? So where are we, right? So these are factors affecting growth in the real estate sector. Income, the income actually means the ability to purchase property. So it can also be referred to as purchasing power, right? So when there's higher purchasing power, um, you know, the ability to own property, becomes more easier, right? So other includes migration patterns. That is, when there is a movement between one place to another, um, it actually affects real estate growth, right? Either positively or negatively, right? So growth in population has a positive effect on real estate, because demand keeps increasing and value keeps increasing, right? So once the economy is also good, um, the real estate sector actually enjoys the benefit too. So interest rate is actually, when there is lower interest rate for borrowing, people can borrow and get lower interest rates, right? They tend to borrow more and, finance more real estate projects, and you know, also leads to an increase in real estate projects. So policies of government can either mar or make a sector real estate, right? So employment opportunity is also a factor that affects, right? The more employed people are, the more income they get, and the more properties they can buy, or the more they can invest in real estate sectors. So these are a few of the factors that that affect growth in real estate, right? So for global real estate, this is just small statistics, showing the rise, in global real estate, right? So this is just showing the increase in, just showing that for the vehicle real estate is continually growing, right? It's continually growing. However, there might be a period of little decline, but it's continuously going. So this is just some statistics for you to to confirm that, right? So it also shows us the top 10 countries, that the top 10 real estate markets globally, right? So which we have China topping, UK the second, Japan third, sorry, US the second, Japan is third, the UK is fourth, Indian fifth, Germany sixth, Brazil seventh, France seventh, sorry, Brazil 8, Italy 9, then Russia 10. So it's just showing us the top 10 global markets uh, in the real estate space, right? So this is just statistics. You can look at them as your, so just statistics rather. You can look at them as your leisure. So this is the biggest house in the world. These are the features. So this is just to show you that the real estate is actually a big thing globally, right? So this is Istana Nurul Imam Palace, right? Which is the biggest house in the world. So if you can see the features, it has 2.1 million square feet area. Sorry, 2.15 million square feet area. That is actually very huge, right? You know, um, it has 1,788 rooms, 257 bedrooms. It has a banquet hall that can occupy 5,000 guests. That's a mosque that can accommodate 1,500 people. So this is just showing us the acceptance of real estate worldwide, right? So this is the world richest real estate entrepreneur, Li Kanxing, right? It's from China actually. It's from China, right? I think China has the highest real estate entrepreneur in the world, right? Worldwide, and they are actually more in, even in the top 100, right? So he has $33 billion, right? Um, in real estate, right? So, and not 4 years. So this is, like I said, this is just to show us the acceptance of real estate globally, right? So this is for Africa real estate. Um, so sadly, Africa real estate is actually very, very on. It is on that tapped, right? It's on that tapped. Don't let me use on tapped. It's tapped yet, but it's still on that tapped, because there are still opportunities for more. development in the sector, right? When it comes to Africa, right? So it currently says that despite the world, despite its large and growing population, controlling about 15% of the world population, the gross asset of real estate in Africa is only 113 billion pounds. So that's supposed to be, sorry, 13 billion euros, right? So is that a pounds? Uh, that should be a pounds. What do they call it? Um, symbol, right? So that's 113 billion pounds, right? Um, and it's just actually occupying just 1% of the global real estate, value. That's just 1% of it, right? So here we have the top five players in the African market, which Nigeria is the fifth position, right? So Nigeria was actually, I think, before second position, but due to the corona and recession that we have had in Nigeria, it has, had a very, very devastating effect on the, market. But we are actually going to, pick up back and, gain our spot. So because there are a lot of um, massive investments, Nigerian space recently, right? So this is just showing Nigerian real estate sector. So it's for Nigerian real estate. Real estate actually is contributing. Sorry, is the fifth largest contributor to the country's GDP, right? Agriculture and service sector topping the charts. But however, real estate is actually the fifth largest contributor. You know, in 2020, the GDP of Nigerian real estate was 3.96 trillion naira, right? So the government estimates housing sector will be needing $400 billion investment, to resolve the country housing deficit. So, and this is actually where the opportunity lies, right? Because there's still a high vacuum, and it still need more players, right? So, and when a particular asset is underdeveloped, or developing, that is when you can, get more of the potential. And I can say, this is uh I think the crypto teacher will actually agree with me, because when crypto was just coming up, you know a lot of persons are like we're not taking the chance to invest in crypto, but immediately it start booming, people start coming up. But whereas the people that the early adopters then were the one that reaped the more profits, right? So as of beginning of Q3 2021, more than $2 million were recorded in disclosure funding round by Nigerian prop tech. So when we say prop tech is actually it means the infusion of technology to property development, or real estate development, right? So, for example, now people using smart gadgets in homes. So that's an example of prop tech, right? Like I said earlier on, I was involved in the development of an app that was geared towards helping people to save to own a property, at a particular period of time. So that's also prop tech, because we are using technology to make sure that people access real estate better. So the fusion of technology and property or real estate is referred to as prop tech. And the prop tech startups actually recorded $2 million, which has increased drastically over the years. And this is just 2021. So this is just to show you the acceptability of I've shown you globally, I've shown you in Africa, now I'm showing you in Nigeria, right? So show that there is opportunity in this industry, right? It's not just there, it's not just it's not just one of it's not an hype actually, so Hello, can you hear me? Please just confirm if you can hear me. Okay, yeah. So so sorry about the network issue, right? So sorry about the network issues. Um, we'll try as much as possible to work better on it in our subsequent class. So because of time today, we'll be stopping there, and we have the floor now for questions. So I'll take in your questions now so that we can conclude today's class and plan on how. Um, sorry, we can continue tomorrow. So I'm not. Is there any question I can can attend to before we call it a day tonight? So while waiting for that, right? I would just like to recap on what we have done today, right? So basically, we touched the rudiments first. We discussed about financial some financial intelligence, right? We discussed about savings, discussed about investment, we discussed about why you need to not only save a part of your income but also invest, right? So I was able to share with you the danger of saving only, um, especially in Nigeria, as a whole, the effect of devaluation on your income, right? And why you need to invest. Then I went further into discussing how um, you can invest in several investment vehicle. Then I singled out real estate investment, um, as um, as my core, and I told you reasons why um, real estate investment is has edge over other types of vehicles, right? Then so then I discussed about I discussed about yeah, discuss about real estate as an investment. We discuss about types of real estate, residential, commercial, industrial. Then we discuss about rates also, which is like a stock like type of real estate investment. Then we also discussed, briefly on the global real estate outlook and also Nigerian real estate markets. So in next class, we'll be looking at um, the opportunities, right? Yeah, we'll be looking at opportunities in the sector in the Nigerian real estate space. We're talking about the challenges. We're talking about challenges. We're talking about Lagos real estate markets, which is the where I operate in, right? So, next class promises to be very, very, very interesting more than today because what we just did today was just the basics, right? So we are going into the details for the next class, right? And it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be very eye opening because this is the main juice like I described earlier on, right? So we're stopping here tonight. I'm still waiting on um any question for me before I call it a. So if I'm not able to get the question here on this platform, I will also uh, I'll be waiting for us in the WhatsApp group. So probably because of the network issues, you are not able to, drop your question here. But definitely, I'll get them in the WhatsApp group and I will respond to them accordingly, right? So it was a very, very nice time with you tonight. It was a very, very nice time with you tonight. So I'm going to leave the floor for Mr. Akinola to to conclude the class for today. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Realtor Baruwa. Thank you for an awesome time. Please confirm you can hear my voice clearly. Please confirm you can hear my voice. Thank you so much. I've learned so much already myself. And then for the people that were having issue with the screen, it wasn't legible enough, it wasn't clear. Don't worry, you will get the slide after now. So once this class ends, the slide will drop on the group so that you can preview it yourself and pick one or two more lessons there. So, like Rito Barra said, we've built the foundation. Now by tomorrow we'll go into Nigerian market where it plays, and then we'll be talking about the specifics of the Nigerian real estate market, which I want to hear, and then which I know that you are excited to hear also. Thank you everyone for joining tonight, and thank you for staying this long on the meeting, on the event tonight. I really appreciate you guys. So let's call it a day. It's been an awesome time. Please do well to help me tag Realtor Baruwa on the group and say a very big thank you, for showing up for us tonight and doing justice to the topic um, before him. Thank you so much, guys, for showing up. Thank you for taking this um, with excitement and passion. Love you guys. See you again tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m.
Bluetooth mode.
All my ego now for you.
All my rubber now for you. Go me now for you. All the motor for my car for you. For you. All my ego now for you. All my rubber now for you.
Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Nobody else but you. Baby, do. I see you in my boo. If I got it, baby, I be fool. Baby, I be fool. Say I want to show you my world, girl. I say I never do you, do you. I want to show you my world, Cause all my ego now for you. All my ego for you. All my love for you.
If you are not subscribed to this channel, you are wrong. You are very wrong. Click the subscribe and the notification button. It is very important. The link.
Tell me what you want. Tell me what we do. Oh, shit.
Good night, everyone. Good night.